Good evening. Welcome to the Sharmark Show. I am your host, Sharmark. And this evening, we're going to talk about art, jazz, artists, creativity at its best. My guests this evening, we have Beverly and Thomas. Beverly, good evening.
Good evening, Shama.
Yeah, I
Good
mean, like the
evening,
last
Saint
show
Lucia.
you was here as my old broom, and this time you're here as an artist. I mean,
Oh,
like, I
wonderful.
have known you creative, very creative, but I mean, like, this time is like you had me like put my hands in my mouth. I congratulations on your
Thank
launching
you.
of your art exhibition, which is called
It
Art
was
by
an art,
Bev.
art by Bev. It was an art
Yeah.
showcase.
So, when did you know you had a love for Art Beverly?
Well, basically, I've always been creative from a child, always been drawing, at school projects, always refined every project by drawing precise stuff. But I never thought it would have turned into me becoming an artist. Basically, art for me, I feel it inside, so I know I'm heading in the right direction. Yes.
Wow.
Hmm.
I like that you feel it inside.
Hmm.
So, the same time you feel it inside, where do you get your inspiration from? Because I realize you use a kaleidoscope of colors. You basically you paint everything. I mean, like sometimes I've been to art galleries and certain artists paint one style
One
of stuff if
genre.
it's just abstract or but
Mhm.
you
Yes.
painting roosters, dog, mountains, tout bagay. I mean, like this is fabulous.
Well, Art by Bev is inspired by feelings, timing, location, and sometimes you see something and it clicks and gives you an idea, and you want to produce something for everybody. Basically, I believe my art must, if I have a showcase or an exhibition, there should be something that clicks with everyone walking in there.
Nice.
So I have launched Art by Bear 4 years ago at the Dream Mall. And this showcase I recently did at the town hall, thanks to the mayor and her team, was the process by which I wanted people and my guests to see exactly what I was doing.
In terms of how Art by Bev has grown
Yes,
over the
have
4 years.
grown because you can see the transition from when I started up until now. And it has a lot to do with researching and reading and getting directives from other artists, looking at what they do, their style, how you hold your brush, what you use in the mix of colors, and so much more.
Yeah. What is your best time to paint?
Well, the most amazing thing other artists I've spoken to normally say they would evening times when it's quiet and peaceful, or sometimes if you have your own studio at home and that's what you do all the time, you paint throughout the day. I guess this is where it's at. But for me, I paint when I feel something and the time is conducive, I paint. Now, a lot of the pieces I've done, sometimes I do a piece in an hour or 2 hours, and it's very detailed. I can't understand it myself because when I look at the finished product, I say, but how come I did this in like 2 hours, 3 hours? And I'm doing acrylic painting rather. I
Wow.
sometimes do a little bit of oil, but I love how the mixing of acrylic, it's not messy and you could go
And more
over
texture.
and more texture and
Does
you're
it
able to make corrections
does
and
it
all of that.
fade after a while?
No, I have a sealer that you spray over after it's dry that seals the painting. And let me tell you, this process of painting for me is just amazing.
What is your biggest piece you have ever painted?
20 by 26. What I did is I created a series with it so you can put them together.
Like a puzzle?
Yeah, you
Okay.
can put them side by side, but you could likewise use it individually as well. It's the waterfalls, and it has two pieces that you can put together, and it becomes
So as you
a
say
scene.
waterfall, so
Mhm.
if I want to go by the waterfall and you paint a nude photo of me, you
I
can do
can
that?
do that definitely.
Would you get distracted?
Not really. I Imagine, I have a couple people who have asked me to paint them. There's this guy that wants me to do a couch painting,
What do you mean a
but
couch?
we have to do it in stages
What do
because
you mean by a couch painting?
he has a couch and you position yourself in a way and then the paint, you do layers at a time because with a portrait and
You
body,
paint the couch or you
you
painted the
paint him
individual?
on the couch. So I have the canvas, but I'm looking at him and the process by
Oh,
which
okay,
he is.
okay, okay,
I
okay.
also said to him he can take a photo of him on the couch and send it as well.
I was thinking so because my sister, hey, you need security there when you're doing that, see?
I
Just
know. But when he asked at first, I said, why would I said, but in
yeah.
the real world, that happens all the
It
time.
happens in the real world, but as
Yeah.
a female artist, sometimes you still have to be
Be
careful.
careful,
And the
definitely.
location and the
Yes,
person
I would have
because
other people there
because sometimes
because
it's
I
always
would
the
need help.
persons you trust. I mean, like
Yes.
people can get very kinky.
I would
just as a
definitely
female.
need help to do the process. He would have had to understand I need an assistant
Okay,
based
nice.
on the process, yes.
Okay.
And the size of the painting that he wanted was a big one.
So is there a particular painting that you enjoy the most? Is it the smaller ones? Maybe trees, maybe water?
I like painting with depth, and basically for me, painting on a pre-gessoed board is better.
Please explain.
Pre-gessoed board is a board that you prep for painting. It's like a liquid you put over the canvas that allow the paint to set in and allow your colors to mesh. I think it makes my art smoother, cleaner, and the canvas, when you paint and you don't see the little white dots of the canvas and stuff, when you're using a pre-gessoed board, canvas, it's better.
So it's almost like you marinate the canvas before,
yes,
before
yes.
you actually go
And some
painting.
people use water, but I researched on YouTube. You could make homemade gesso, or you could buy the gesso, order it and stuff like that. Basically,
How you call it?
gesso,
Gesso.
pre-gesso. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Okay.
And for me, when I paint and I get to mix the colors and to create a painting, each painting, you always love it. That's the funny thing. I have done a small one with a horse recently. And when I finished, I said, oh, that reminds me of Black Beauty, the movie. And I actually got a little butterfly because I remember watching that. So I guess it's the feeling and the nurturing of what you do becoming more refined.
We'll be right back and we'll get more into that feeling and the painting.
Definitely.
Welcome back. Miss
Thank
Thomas,
you.
tell
Thank you.
us, Art by Bevs, how many places have you
Showcase.
showcased your art before?
Well, basically, Art by Bev, when I started, because I did not have a location, I created a first sign saying mobile art gallery. So I could do pop-up shops in various locations. And with me doing sip and paint at Bay Gardens Resort at the time, they afforded me the ability to display my paintings. So every Thursday I would have the paintings, or most of it out, and display the paintings people would purchase, and people would also be inspired, those taking part in the sip and paint, and they would do that. CDF, which is Cultural Development Foundation, they also have art and jazz at Rodney Bay during jazz time on the road.
Well, last year you did that?
I've done it for 2 years. This year will
Okay.
be the 3rd year, and I will register again because it puts you on the map, and people are now asking, are you going to be there again? Which means they remembered and they come to see what new I've done, and people purchase, and it's the buzz. It's not even just about art. It's about other local entrepreneurs doing creative stuff and presenting Saint Lucian on a different level.
So basically what you're saying, you get the feedback that you're expecting.
Yes, and people make they order, they place their orders, and they get information about Art by Bev, and I get to see a lot. Listen, people actually come out for that, and I remember last year, even the Chinese embassy, there were some people who were visiting, and they came, and last minute they said, "Can you do something of the pictures on impromptu?" And I did it, and they bought it.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so it really shows that the potential for artists are, you have to push yourself, place yourself. Also, the town hall, the mayor, year before, they hosted Art in the City. That's in Constitution Park, which was a great initiative. That's the time during when the cruise ships were in on a Sunday as well, because there was nothing much going on, and they decided to create that avenue with the vendors from town and arts and music, karaoke, and that was a very good initiative. Unfortunately, it's not been done now. I guess they went back to the board to review the process, and I was also part of that. And that too, I never realized Saint Lucians love art like that. When I was
Wow.
there, I had about 4 or 5 young ladies who said, "Oh, I'm buying this one for my room, and I'm buying this one for my
That's good
mom."
feedback.
And another guy said, "Oh, my mother would love it because it has a prayer." And it makes me think and broaden my horizon in what I produce as an artist.
Did you do any art school, or is it just natural?
It's natural. My mom, actually, before she passed, she said, all of what I do and the way I'm creative and even speaking, public speaking, I got that from my dad. My dad was a mouth man, like to speak up and defend people and
You've done
show up.
everything. You've done calypso, you've
Oh
done
boy,
building
tell me.
costumes, you've done karaoke, you've done hairdressing, you've done what
Listen,
have you not done under the
Sharmark,
sun?
I'll tell you something. One of the reasons why I am laughing is because they normally say chief cook and bottle washer. One of the reasons I am like that, I remember mom had 9 of us, and I used to say, "Boy, mommy always have to make bakes, sale, and all of that." And I never wanted to be without something to bring in an income. So I always research, always seeing what can I do next to keep myself in the process by which I have to provide for my children. And this was my priority. So, and when I started painting, I realized you can sell one piece of art, Sharmark, sometimes for $2.5 million. Imagine that. When I researched some of the art people purchase, a guy sold a piece of art with just a banana attached to the board for $8 million US.
I have some fried plantain in the fridge at my house.
So when you are inspired by that, and you never know who's looking, where you're going to end up, who's coming through. There are people who are interested in weird stuff.
And I think, and not even weird, art is something that's like gold. The
unique.
older it gets, the more valuable it
becomes.
because you can
Amen.
sell it back
Amen
at
to
an
that.
auction.
Yes.
Because when I went
That's
to
right.
London,
That's right.
we went to a few art galleries, and I mean, I'm not into the art, but the little wine and the cheese.
You was there for your health.
I was there for my health, but at the same time, like, oh wow, this piece is interesting. But I mean, like, it was a different. For me, as an event planner, what I learned from it is the layout, because sometimes I get jobs where I have to do a setup for an art. So you learn from that. So the experience is good, the way the boards were displayed, the lighting, and even the way the wording, the description for each painting. You realize it wasn't too bulky. So you learn that from it. While I was having my wine and cheese, I was learning, but I was not really into that. Eventually, hopefully, I mean, like, you have a friend that's telling that, hopefully it will grow on you, because you don't want to buy a piece of art just for buying its sake. You want it to mean something to so it can connect and to position in somewhere in your house to say, wow, when you walk into the house and say, okay, this is beautiful. And I mean, like, some people are so into the art that when they position it, they don't want anything to block it. They're very sensitive by it, you know.
What has taken me by storm? 2 things I want to actually take in on what you said about labeling art. And you said that and it just popped in my head. I recently researched how to display art because I have a location that I'm preparing, and you saying the labeling. And as you said it, I realized that Beverly, you researched it and you never did it. So what I know is to elevate your art and what you produce to another level, you have to match the bigger world, the wider world. And other great artists, the Picassos and all those people who stood out, and they are still standing out even though they are not there. So basically, that for me is a great thing. And me having a location now for my art gallery is another phenomenal thing for me.
Well, congratulations on
Yes,
that.
thank you.
We'll be right back, and when we get back, we'll get more on Beverly's location for her art gallery. Welcome back. Thank you for viewing the Sharmark Show. If you're just joining us, Ms. Thomas, tell us. Before we went into commercial, you said you're working on an art gallery at a location. What part of Ireland is this location going to be? And what are you looking to bring to the table? What should Saint Lucians expect?
Well, it was the last time when I launched my brand as Art by Bev, I was given an offer to be at the Dream Mall. But when when you want something to be successful, you have to review it and make sure it's the right stage. And then I did not jump on the opportunity. And recently, as I did my showcase. I was told that there are a couple empty spots, and I went to see it, and
So the opportunity surfaced
again. And what happened is I did not really see the place empty, so I was not envisioning what it would be. But when I saw it, I realized it's a good location. Two things. Most of the hotels and the people I offer services of the sip and paint and to come into the showcases and stuff, they are in that area, which is also the art gallery is actually at the Dream Mall. And the events, the kids face painting, the parties and stuff, most of them are in the northern part of the island.
Yeah.
But my concept of my art gallery is to have people come in. You can place your order, you can purchase what I have. And I'm also doing craft. I have some beautiful craft pieces as well. But each of them are single. I don't repeat a piece. I don't do prints. So when you have one piece, you're the only one who has it. So the value remains valuable, and the value goes up because you can't get it a second time. And being in the north, that would be ideal for me, the hotels and my guests and the parties and all of that.
So have you launched your Instagram and Facebook page since
I've had an Instagram page since I started, which is art_by_Bev, and the Facebook page also is Art by Bev. And I'm working on a website basically because of the concept of pay-per-print and pay-per-view. So if I would have specific pieces of art on that site, it's not all of the art because I want my art to remain selective. I don't want it to be every next household have a print of the art. So you'll have a particular line that you can go and get that. So another thing, you could walk in and get it at the art gallery as well.
Okay.
And I'm going to produce an auction once a month while I'm there, because at the showcase, the last part of my program was an auction.
How was that?
And awesome. They had their cards, their one-ups and stuff. And when it was done, the only comment I got, Beverly, it was too short.
Yeah, I think, like they say, sometimes you have to keep people wanting more.
Yes. So when It's like, oh, why didn't you do more and stuff? I just did 2 pieces. I did a wall piece that I
I think if
created,
you do too
and
many
the thing,
pieces,
yes,
it might end up looking like it's a painting you buy it in
yes,
a corner
in the
store.
inner corner.
Means that
Thank
when you
you.
do jewelry and stuff like that, you
Mm-hmm.
don't do too many pieces at
Mm-hmm.
a time
I
because it's
just
an
did
auction.
two
It's a one of a
pieces.
kind.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So basically, I did that, and it turned out. So at my location, that would be done once a month as well.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
From the Sharmark show, I would say congratulations with your new project. I think sometimes you have to take a leap of faith and try something different, because if you just sit on the side way, nobody's going to do it for you.
Yes.
I think the location, Rodney Bay, is a good thing, and I think you have your head on your shoulders. I think you need to stay focused, and it's a different project.
Important.
And if you do more wine and cheese, I mean, like, as a, you know already, when you I'll be the only guest get my free little cheese and stuff, more people will come, because these things will help build the level of interest, the level of interaction for the general public, even for the guests. They're looking for something different. And to walk into an art gallery and get something from an artist
And she's
from the
right
soil.
there. Yes,
And I think with your personality, I think you can even sell the people own shoes to them as an art piece. No, seriously.
Thank you.
I think you have. I'm excited to see
see
what it will bring for you, or how would you
next
blossom
level.
in the next 5 years, in the next
Amen.
10 years. Yes. And stuff like that. I remember, art is not like have a tree by the road. Art is something sometimes 2-3 days, 2 weeks, you didn't sell a piece, but when you sell that one
It's
piece,
a massive.
you can take me for sushi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
So
true. It is true.
you just have to stay focused and keep your fingers crossed, and the rest is going to be history.
I just wanted to say that since I've started, I could actually remember people who have purchased art from me. I have a guy who's a DJ. He's gotten 3 huge pieces of art from
that's
me,
good.
and he's just placed 2 orders again.
Nice.
And he's saying why. It's because the story it tells.
I'm not distracting you, but you say place the order. I realize you said that throughout our whole conversation. Is it that the person can place an order of something they want? Because I know most artists sometimes paint and then they sell it. They don't work on orders.
Because that's mine. But if there is something you are sentimental to, you can call and say, Bev, I have an idea of X, Y, and Z. How can you relate that on a canvas?
Okay, nice.
And he does that. He loves antiques, and he loves Saint Lucian history.
Okay.
So he told me about the William Peter Boulevard in 1950s, and I have done it for him.
Oh, nice.
And he wanted something with a goat in the bush. And that stuff. No. And I did it. And he wanted an African lady, a silhouette of an African lady for head tie with beads and chains and stuff. I did that.
Oh, nice.
And I actually remember those he purchased and stuff. And even Alice of Wings of Love, I did Central Library. And that is a unique piece because the details of the Central Library
it's a very
so
old
small.
Building, yes.
And she was happy to have it. And since I've been painting, people from all walks of life call. They approach me. Even I have somebody in Taiwan who reached out because I post stuff, and the vision, it makes me feel like I've grown.
That's what life is supposed to be.
And I've matured, and I'm in another realm of life. So art, that has done that to me. And I believe, because my kids are also creative, Yanni paints and Naya, I would like to have it at a level that they can step in as well. Because I believe in that in the future, for the future.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, Ms. Thomas, before we wrap up, I'd like to say thank you so much, and congratulations.
I thank you so much, because I just want to mention, sometimes I know you have your own life, and I always call you to tell you, Sharmark, I'm doing this, and I call for help. And one thing I must say, yes, we are friends for a very long time, but you always make the little time that you make to just pay attention and give me your feedback. And sometimes I'm a little hard-headed, and you
Opera.
But you always make
Yeah.
time to step in on a serious
Pleasure
note
is
and
all
do it.
mine.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much for that.
Okay.
And for having me here at Choice TV over a period of time. I want to say a quick thank you to the mayor, the minister of Central Castries, and all my guests who showed up. Sharmark, I was so surprised when I saw the town hall with
And the
everybody
sponsors.
and the sponsors, Sharmark
Amen.
Designs.
Nobody said sponsors
No,
up,
no, no.
yes.
You are special. I actually had to highlight you first because you actually just make it
Yeah.
happen. And I'm
My sister, you cut me
Yes.
off. I was trying to wrap up my show and you just cut me off. Eh? As I was saying before, you rudely cut me off. Thank you so much for being here. And the pleasure was all mine.
Thank you.
And from the bottom of my heart to your heart, good luck with it.
Thank you so
I mean, like,
much.
they'll have days it will be dumb, just dust yourself and start up. And trust me, the next time you get here and say, Sharmark, oh my God, make sure you keep all your records.
Amen.
Make sure you don't scam the people with no old paint. Proper paintings, and don't give up,
Yes.
because you're trying to
Yes.
create a brand
True.
and you want it to grow. Don't let nobody discourage you.
Amen.
And then sometimes you have to try, because if you don't try, we wouldn't know if it would work.
Amen.
So Saint Lucian, thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
always contribute. At By Bevs, go and see. You don't have to buy, just visit Bevs once you open the place at Rodney Bay, or go on her Facebook page or Instagram and just drop in a number, drop in a message, and then that's what it is. We have to encourage each other.
Thank
Thank you for
Thank you.
viewing.
Thank
This was
you
the
so
Sharmark
much.
Show.
Thank
Love you guys.